Oh, oh my God. Oh, jeez. 17 hours of non-stop testing with this camera. So, oh my God. Wow. Okay, there we go. I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake. No, I don't drink. I'm just like drunk from lack of sleep. Not like drunk. Jeez. I do have the hiccups because I didn't like eat till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Didn't eat all day long. So, here we have the Sony A9. Now, I had a few people contact me. Some via phone and... yeah, I know I got the hiccups. Some via email. And they wanted me to fudge the test for this camera. Make it look, you know, oh, just horrible. I promised... I'm not going to do... yeah, I know I got the hiccups, right? Go ahead and make fun of me. I promised I would be fair to this camera, and I'm going to be completely fair now. It's the full review. At least my full review based upon logic, evidences, and, you know, baseline of, you know, God knows how many countless cameras I've used, owned, and tested. Yeah, I know, I got the hiccups. So, by the way, some of the skin right here on the first knuckle of my middle finger, you know, my fingers aren't fat, actually. My fingers aren't fat. You see right here where this is rubbing right here? This is no good. That actually bothered me all day long. The playback function on this is horribly placed right here at the back of the bottom of the camera. One thing that really perplexed me, unlike Canon and Nikon and Fuji, there's no front function button. No front function buttons on this damn camera. Maybe we'll let the hiccups play throughout this video to like for drama. Hiccups, right? I have no idea why there are no front function buttons on this camera. No idea. One thing I do agree with Fronos. He did like an unboxing on this. And the first thing he did was complain about the ergonomics on it. And I'll, you know, flat out agree with him. It's like, well, you're just not used to the camera. You're used to something else. Well, I mean, that is partially true, but foregoing that, I love doing a video review while having hiccups. Foregoing that fact, the ergonomics are horrible. Horrible. I confused a lot of people when I told them I really did slam this camera right the hell up against the wall over and over again. I just pushed the buffer far, 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 far beyond what anybody would ever do. Couldn't get it to overheat. 86 degrees today, totally sunny, no clouds in the sky. You can see my nose is sunburned. You know, you know damn well I've been outside all day long with this camera. You know I have. I uploaded some boring test shots. Did a lot of action shots of like flying drones and running dogs and all sorts of stuff. I stated outright that the electronic shutter buffer depth is absolutely excellent. The electronic shutter handling of crap lighting is far and above anything else. The autofocus zone tracking on it is in outer space. I give that like, what, a 9.2 out of 10. The camera is $4,500. The afterthought on this camera, the mechanical shutter, there's two reasons to have mechanical shutter. Don't want to use that indoors. Even though this handles crap lighting really good, I want it for flash photography and I want it for crap indoor lighting. I do. Mechanical shutter on this is... See, there's no reason why this $4,500 camera... As people say, well, you know, it does electronic shutter so well. I still need, you know, mechanical shutter for flash photography and a couple of other things. There's no reason why for $4,500 that this... You see, even the really inexpensive $1,600 Fujifilm X-T2 has a, even without the vertical grip, 8 frame per second mechanical. There's no reason. Okay, I know Sony stuck in the old mechanical shutter in this camera. It's 5 frames per second. You should not be getting 5 frames per second mechanical shutter on a $4,500 camera. These left side cap doors. Oh, I forgot to bring it in here. Let me show you something that's absolutely astounding. I should have brought it over here to the table. So let me grab it over here. Let me grab it. Let me grab it. What the hell were you thinking, Sony? Let me get the bad part out of it. What the hell were you thinking? In the owner's manual, by the way, it shows that you get a real charger with this camera. And you can buy a total crap, cheapo Nikon turd camera, and you'll get a real charger. Hey, this is what you get with this camera. This was new out of the box, A9 too. You get this little wall wart, basically like an iPhone, and this USB cable. What the? Please. Please. Okay. Please, what the hell is wrong with that? That's not right. $4,500, this is what I get to charge the camera with? Come on. Now, I'm not being a hater. You know this is stupid. You know this is stupid. You know this is stupid. It's irrefutable and undeniable. This is stupid. Should come with a real charger. There's just, you know, there's no hating about this at all. This is just, no. 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 The front and rear command dials are not clickable. No, I'm not hating on this camera in the review. I'll get to some of the good stuff here in a second. For $4,500, as here, made in Thailand. Thailand. Should say Japan. Honestly, this is a $2,800 camera. I mean, over and over and over again. I've had a lot of cameras pass through my hands, more than the other YouTube photography channels. This is not a $4,500 camera. It is not a if you want to say $3,000, I say $2,800. You want to say $3,000? Fine. Fine. I noticed something very interesting, and I've never seen this in any other DSLR mirrorless camera. It has full thermal shielding everywhere, even at the base where the contacts are. Full thermal shielding in the battery compartment. That says something. To get into those details, I'd have to make another video. The value, I'm going to go down a list right now of how I rate this. Value, scale of 1 to 10, I give this a 4. So that's pretty bad. This is, I say $2,800. You want to say $3,000? Fine. This is not a $4,500 camera. No, no, no way, no how. Not made in Thailand with these. Now it has a lot of, it has some really amazing, nice, advanced features on it, which I'll get to in a second, that I've been talking about and complimenting. People thought I wasn't going to be fair to this camera. I'll be fair to this camera. Okay? The ergos. It's like, well, you're just not used to the camera. Taking that into consideration, I still give the ergos a 5 out of 10. Autofocus zone tracking, I give that a 9+ out of 10. Just right off the scale. Boom. It's right there. 9+ out of 10. That's as good as it gets. So, mechanical shutter on this thing is almost a miserable afterthought. It's just insanely slow, and one thing nobody ever mentioned in any other damn video on this camera is it is really, really laggy. I made sure that the picture review was off. I checked everything. Everybody told me, no. Yep, that's all off. Yep, really, really laggy. I've got example after example of that. The electronic shutter crap light banding, rather lack thereof, excellent. Far better than everybody else, period. So this gets a 9.5 out of 10. Boom. Awesome. Awesome. What about base ISO banding, which we've had some examples of that. I uploaded an example. I'll post the link below. I found a few examples where I'm shooting into the sun flickering through the trees. There is a horizontal banding issue in base ISO. I was only able to find a few examples of it, but everybody knew it was there before, and I still found it. I didn't find as many examples as I thought. Manual focus peaking on this, which I've not messed with Sony, and I messed with every available variation of manual focus peaking on this, is both inferior to Fuji, but also lacks most of the options that Fuji has. So on this, I thought it would be really good on Sony. It is plenty decent enough, but compared to Fuji, it's a 6 out of 10 on this camera for manual focus peaking. Button layout, really, really bad. I mean, there's no way the play button should be down here. The menu button should sure as hell not be up here. You know, no clickable front and rear command. There's no front function buttons. Every Canon has it, Nikon has it, Fuji. What the hell is wrong with you, Sony? There needs to be at least 2 buttons, right? There's no button at all here, except the button to release the camera, to release the lens. That's pretty dumb. That's pretty dumb. So button layout, 2 out of 10. Low light high ISO image rendering, 9 out of 10. Really good. Crank the high ISO way the hell up there. Absolutely stellar performer. top of its class for that. Just the only thing that beats it's a Nikon D5. Low light autofocus acquisition, I give it like a 6.8 out of 10. It actually, I tested a lot of low light, see if it would not track, just to acquire a lot of different -3, -4 EV lighting, outside and indoors. It hunted a lot. Not a little bit, but a lot. The electronic shutter under crap lighting, I tested fluorescent, incandescent, LED. I've tested every variety of super crap indoor lighting. It did awesome. So 9.5 out of 10. The important thing is when you review a camera, you're not really reviewing a camera, you're reviewing a system, because a camera is not just a camera. You have to review all the crap that you have to attach to it. And, you know, do I have to say over and over again that there's not that much glass for Sony? I mean, does everybody know that? There's not that much glass for Sony, right? Sony should build this as really as an electronic shutter only camera, because the mechanical shutter is so slow and laggy. It's like an afterthought. For $4,500, there's no reason, as I said, that Sony shouldn't have been able to at least throw a 10 frame per second mech shutter in this camera. They could have easily done that. There's no damn reason why they couldn't have done it. There's no engineering reason why they couldn't have done it either. Couldn't get it to overheat. I slammed the hell out of it. I said I'd be fair to this camera, and I was fair to this camera. In conclusion on this camera, I actually, in all honesty, you know, being totally fair, and I made sure, it's like, well, when I say this, it has to be right, because I told people I'd be fair on this camera. This is not a well-rounded camera. The electronic shutter buffer depth is awesome. The electronic shutter handling of crap lighting is awesome. The autofocus zone handling of this camera is just woo. It's right up there at the pinnacle top. I'm trying to think of a really good analogy of this. You see those muscle-bound weightlifters that look like, you know, each one of their arm has like 10 muscles on top of other muscles. It's like, wow, they must be amazing. Yet when these guys are actually pitted against like cross-country and triathletes and endurance run, they're really, really, really strong for like that much period of time. But when you take these people that you have perceivably no muscles at all, or very few muscles, they never, ever. So this camera is kind of like that super muscle-bound guy that's like wearing the this shiny Speedo, because the specifications and the really, really awesome things like the ES buffer depth and the handling, this is kind of like, let's just call it like a bodybuilding super chick. You know, you see them, there's like, wow, just like muscle on top of muscle on top of muscle. Even their muscles have muscles, but they can't, you know, they're like two-trick ponies. And I'm not saying this is a two-trick pony. Let's say it's a three-trick pony. But it can't go the mile. So this camera is not well-rounded as far as it being able to do a really good across the board. The low-light autofocus, not so good. No. Mechanical shutter, no. Really laggy. No, like the button layout, the ergos, the ecosystem. No, I mean, that's just undeniable. For $4,500, let's be really brutally frigging honest. For $4,500, I can get a Nikon D810 and a Fuji X-T2 and still have enough damn money for 2 or 3 lenses. Now, you could say 2 lenses, but the way I'm able to find stuff, I could find 3. So for $4,500, just for the body alone, I could get a D810 and an X-T2 brand new, and a couple damn lenses, like one for the Nikon and one for the Fuji. You know, for what the cost of this, so the value on this is no dice. That's not good. What this camera is best for: outdoor sports action, and really this is a photojournalistic camera, super dream. The buffer on this, yeah, paparazzi, every paparazzi out in LA that's taking pictures of collagen injected Hollywood douchebags should buy this camera. Outdoor sports action, yeah. Club shooting indoor, yeah. This is going to be great for golf because you can stick it in silent mode, start clicking away with it. Autofocus is incredible. The buffer depth is incredible. The electronic shutter handling of crap lighting for like indoor, boom, it's right there. It's right at the top at those things. I would not want this camera for wedding photography, no way, no how. No way. Not 24 megapixels, not with that mechanical shutter. Because once you hit the reception, you start popping off the flash. Not in the ceremony, but the reception. Would not want this for a wedding. Wouldn't dare want this camera. I'm so surprised that the mechanical shutter is so laggy. I gave this camera kudos, where it deserved it. Autofocus zone tracking, crap lighting, crap indoor lighting. Could not get it overheat to save my life. Low light, high ISO image rendering, 9 out of 10. For zone tracking and crap lighting, it's right at the top. This, however, is a $3,000 camera. This is not, I have no idea. It's Thailand! Thailand! I have no idea how Sony came up with $4,500, but the answer to that is no damn way. And that is being completely fair to this camera. No! No! No. $1,600, or let's just say $1,800 with a vertical. The X-T2 mechanical shutter, way faster. 12 frames per second. It's over twice the mechanic. That is a well-rounded camera. It's great for mechanical. The electronic shutter is great. The electronic shutter on this is right at the top, though. Maybe Sony thought that was, why this camera should be $4,500. But this camera is lopsided. It's kind of like, you see that, I hate to make a reference, like somebody, like their upper part of their body is like, but the lower part of their body is like, ah! This camera is like that. It's like, the Fuji X-T2 is like, I'm not being sexist. I'm just trying to make a simple analogy. It's like everything is like, and this camera is like, wow, and then you get to the lower part, you go, ugh. You see somebody's like really beautiful from the top, and the bottom they got like cottage cheese legs and their lumps, cottage cheese lumps in their legs. That's kind of why this camera is. It's lopsided. It's like, awesome, ooh, not so good. Awesome, I like making these analogies because it kind of makes things simple. This camera is lopsided, and it's definitely it is way over. There's just no damn denying that this camera is overpriced. $3,000, fine. Even if you want to say $3,200, like, not really, but okay. But $4,500, no. Thailand, not Japan. Thailand. Even if it said Japan on it, it's like, no, this camera's not $4,500. It's not well-rounded enough. If it had a 12 frame per second mechanical shutter and slightly better ergos, it's like, well, even then, $3,800. Even then, $3,800 max, not $4,500. I was completely fair to this camera. You, surely, the fanboys are like, oh, you're hating on this camera. I knew you'd do a shitty review. Someone's going to say that. But I've been fair to this camera. I even shocked some people like, oh my God, you've like been sold. Sony's bought your soul. My voice is worn out. I spent all day cranking nonstop on this camera. I was fair to this camera. I praised it highly. I gave it top marks on certain aspects of its existence. Other things, no. Ergos, no. Value, no. Mechanical shutter, really bad, bad. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, drop me a buck or two, because these videos don't really pay. I worked my butt off for this review. Even if you hate it, you can tell me to jump off a cliff. Whatever makes you happy, girlfriend. This was a review of the Sony A9. I'm done. Peace.